The universe. This is kind of fun. When I turn this on, this gives you an overview. Now, you'll notice you're not really seeing much. I'll put this over here. So now you can kind of see it a little bit. So there, if you look close, we've got 2 blue boxes. See those 2 lines? And then there's another blue one there. And those are representative of these down here. So this gives you a global, a sort of a blown out view. So if I'm zoomed in something really far, I can see all of my universe. I can see the entire session as a whole, but if you notice up here in this gray box, that's showing the view that I'm looking at because I'm zoomed in that far. So it's kind of a handy thing, but it does eat up some real estate, so if you don't want to see it, you can always close it. Notice we have this sort of, these little arrows, which allow us to open things and close them, which is awesome. Last but not least is a Midi editor. Now, you can have the Midi editor built into, this is new for Pro Tools 9. It used to be you had a floating one, or you can do the edit. You can do the edit within the region itself, or you can use a dedicated Midi editor. I always like to use the editor, and this is really handy. You can collapse it or open it up, and it remembers the exact view that you're using. What's great about this is I can open this up, and then I can select things up in this window, and you'll notice that they'll change depending on what I have selected. So that's kind of a handy thing. I can do multiple edits that way. There's a couple ways that I'm doing a zoom thing here. This button right here, this is what we call the focus commands. When this is on, there's a select way of doing certain edits and certain functions within the program that are single keystrokes. Just by hitting one, I don't have to use a modifier. So that's what the focus keys are. Right now I'm using R and T to do my basic zooming in and out. Pretty cool. So another useful key command, if you're not using the focus, is a command and then your brackets. Allows you to do the exact same thing. So just depending on what mode you are in, will allow you to do different functions in regards to your key commands. It's really flexible. There's a lot of, they've added a lot of functionality with the focus commands, which is great. And we'll close this, and that about wraps up this section right here. So next thing we can look at is down here, you'll notice we have sort of our ruler. Now if I click on, you'll notice there's a box right here. This ruler allows us to add certain, like if I wanted to look at my time ruler and say minutes and seconds, or I can add minutes and seconds, I should say. Time code. I can turn all of these on. Now notice, as I start adding all of these, it's eating up real estate. So I don't necessarily want to have them all on main ruler only. So bars and beats, and then you can kind of go through if I want to see the markers window. A marker is where we can drop in a memory point. So it's a way for me to quickly get back. We'll talk about markers as we move through the program. Our key signature, our meter, chords, all of this have to come into play.